Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, as I've given you my word that I would always be, as long as you need me, whether you know it or not. And every day we are finding and getting new information about things that's happening that should and merit a lot of attention from us, we the people, and we do. I'm sure we all do, but that's not the big problem. The problem is, what do we do about it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I come here this morning, I want to take a little summation of some of the things that I've shared with you in the past and connect them with the things that is happening today to show the relativity of the consistency in prompting me to say without a doubt that a message is being given to all of us. Unless we get off this path, we know where we're going. And the path that we're on right now, ladies and gentlemen, is the same path we've been on ever since we've been here in America. And that's called the white supremacy. Everything that's been done in this nation has been geared to maintain white supremacy. That is from the time they were taking the property and making laws and rules and regulations and suggested who should play a part in them and who should not. In other words, during a process of separation, even in the beginning of time, a process of separation that was destined to do nothing but lead to more and more and more separation. All of the things, the consequences of the separation or lack of ingenuity of glue, and we call that love. We were talking about, or should I say, I heard the state of human abuse in America today is so fragile. It's so fragile that when we are talking about somebody who has done a wrong, the nation is so split until you have to bring in National Guards, police, and state troopers and troopers from all other neighboring cities. For what purpose? To help protect property. Property. This is an indication of how important property is in America. There is an injustice that's been committed, and the people are so threatened, and when I say the people, I'm talking about the powers, that those who they have abused are so upset that if this verdict does not come down justifying what the eyes have seen, addressing that with a guilty plea, that hell might break loose. And well, we got to protect the property. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a sign again that who died, who was murdered, who was lynched, those who we haven't given much importance to as a nation. And by whom? By the representative power. And it was a statement that was made at a time that the message was shared all across the globe. And there must be a significance for that to happen in such a way that the whole world can see it. The whole world can see it. It must be a message to the world. We have always said we want to be the center of attention. We want to be a light on a hill. And here we are. But you know what the people are seeing? They are seeing us as we are. They are seeing the profession of how wonderful we are at a time when what the reflection is the ugliness that we display. And so they're watching this moment. The judgment is taken. Where will America go? Because the way America goes sends a message to the rest of the natural world. Why? Because remember, America is a light on a hill to be seen. And at a time when we have down in, I believe, the state of Florida, where Governor DeSantis just the other day signed in some legislation for the state that supported to the maximum white supremacy. We can do you wrong, my friends. That's just what this message says. And you can protest, but you must protest the way we permit you to protest. And how do we permit you to protest? That it has no effect on us. It might mean something to you, but it has no effect on us. That's the kind of protest we want you to have. And when you decide that you have had enough and you can't take it anymore, then we're going to pass laws and rules and regulations to make sure we can snatch you off the street and treat you like the animal that we have always claimed you to be. We don't want you in our society anyway. So we double dog dare you to stand up and act like you care, because we got something for you. That's white supremacy. Well, that's what they're saying down in the state of Florida. Then you turn around and there's a lady who has been going through some changes. She's watched a lot of stuff for a long time. Maxine Waters. They say she was at some protest rally and she was thanking the people who were there for having enough guts, to have enough balls, to have enough soul, to have enough love to recognize what's going on. Enough courage to stand up and say, we are not going for it. And she's saying to them, we have to fight for what we get. This is white supremacy. They don't give a stink about us. And if we sit back and try to follow the rules the way they've dictated us to do it, we'll never get anywhere. So if they mess over us again, I hope you really get down on it. That's what she was really saying. She was speaking love and truth to the people. Now, what did the Senate say? McCarthy and those guys say, okay, we're going to sanction her. We're going to do this and we're going to do that. Now, when this woman who was advocating white supremacy, talking about white people and the outstanding source of this nation and drawing committees to make sure that all the rules and regulations around this government, around this system addresses their concerns and to heck with everybody else, well, they're talking about sanctioning her. I mean, you had to watch and see what was going to happen there. Nothing was happening. It took a lot of talking, a lot of going on to try to even get her out of there. And then they did enough talking, so when she stepped out, then the money started coming to her and saying, hey, this is what we want. We love the hate that you perpetuate. Here's some more money. Here's some more money. Go on TV. Now, we don't know where that money is coming from. That money might be coming from just a few people. That money might be coming from another country, just feeding into evilness, trying to get it to go, to feed that fire, to feed that flame. All of this can be possible. But you see, nobody, I mean, these same people that's passing the law saying you can't come down here and jump on our car, but they're not saying a thing about when she says we can mess over them. We can continue to mess over them even more than we've done in the past. Wow. Isn't that something fantastic, ladies and gentlemen? You see, the thing of it is this, and why I figure it's so important for me to talk to you about things like this, is because you need to be given some truth, whether you accept it or not. You know, we've gone through this ever since we've been in America. Now, it happened before then, but let's deal with America, because that's where we are right now. Ever since we've been here, we've been abused. And everybody knows it. They know it. That's why they're passing laws now to make it legal so they can keep it going. Why? Because they now know we know it. And they don't want us to do anything about it. Why? Because there is no love in their hearts that they'll do anything to us. And you know what they did? They knew that someday we were going to stand up. And so that's why they gave us a religion. Yes, they gave us a religion, and they gave us a leader, a Jesus, a wonderful man who stood up for all of the right things that they themselves, white supremacy, wants for themselves. And they said that it was for everybody, especially the poor. Put down the wealthy, put for the poor, standing up for the poor, the most righteous of all righteousness, according to the Western religion, Jesus Christ. The most stood up for all of the little people that Maxine Waters out there talking to. Stood up for all the little people that Dr. King was talking to. Stood up for them. Then having to deal with the consequences of what they were really dealing with, as Jesus had to deal with the consequences of what he was really having to deal with, they say. Then rather, with all of this power, than calling down angels to defend him, he went to the cross, telling all of you who have been abused, don't care how mad you get, protest over here, do this kind of protest. And if that doesn't work, then don't get upset, don't burn no buildings, don't get torn up, go to the cross. Because we're going to put you in jail, don't worry about it, we might put you in the electric chair, don't worry about it, just go. See, that's a message, Now, why do I say that to you, ladies and gentlemen? Because I want you to understand that they want you to believe that God is all powerful in that book. And God, I know, is. They know it too. So they know you know it. They don't want to take away from that. But they just want to control how you perceive God. And so they put all this stuff down. But I'm asking you, how dumb can you get? If God had done all of this with all of these different people without them having books and stuff, what made God stop? Did God die? Did God get sick somewhere with a fever? Is he under a pandemic? Not forget the he, I'm sorry. Is God under a pandemic or something? Why isn't God talking to us like he did then? Well, I'll tell you why. Because then they weren't confused. They were natural men out there dealing with life. As you, if you were under the influence of this bull, under the influence of these lies, you would be listening within. You would be thinking, your heart would be speaking to you. You would understand what's going on by your giving and taking and translating that into understanding. That's what would be happening. But no, we are being influenced by someone else telling us what to do, putting laws. See, the solution, nobody wants to talk about. You see, the solution is very simple. When you know the truth, you know whose power. There's a power and only one power, and that's the power that comes from life, given by life to those who are in life. But those who have been receiving the power got authority to use the power as they choose. And others are being influenced to do that which would lead away from life, to do that which brings about what's going on in America, what's going on in Florida, what Miss Green is doing, what is happening in the streets, what happened in Minnesota. That's the alternative. But no, the solution is respect that power and allow no power to cause you to go a way you don't want to go. And if the way that you want to go is the way of love, it addresses the things that would make sure that all of us, including you, beginning with you, has an understanding of what is so important to others. And what is that? The sustenance for survival, food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care. And if you want to guarantee that to everybody who receives that, let everybody play a part in the process of creating what is being received. Put it in the reservoir of goods and services to be used as each one need, want, or desire, because the reservoir is overflowing way beyond our borders. Now we're standing on a hill where we don't mind being seen, and we won't be envied, we'd be copied. Well, what would happen from that? You'd have peace. Justice exists. You'd be prosperous because everybody's playing a part to use what has been given. You'd have joy because you're doing that which is the greatest you can give. And you'd have the reception, my friends, of your dreams because they would be automatically being materialized by a power that you caused it to manifest, but is directed by the director that we can't see. That's the solution. But now, I just shared this with you. And I'm sure you've heard something similar put in other person's words. But you don't hear this. Nobody's talking about this on the news. You're going to hear something about DeSantis and what he's doing down in Florida. You're going to hear some more about Miss Waters. You're going to hear some more about Miss Green. You're going to hear some more about white supremacy and protests. You're going to hear a lot about that, but you're not going to hear anything about the solutions. You're going to hear a lot of people talking about we're going to have to do something different. You're going to hear a lot of people saying we got to stop this, don't take this anymore. But let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, when you do right, I'll tell you this. I'm talking to you because I say if God talked to them, why isn't God talking to us? God is talking. We're just not listening. Why? We're following a program by someone else. But I'm not. I mean, I go walk where I want to walk, but I'm listening. And it voice without a doubt. Yes, my friends. I know we don't care about one another. Like I said, God teaches you. He speaks to you, teaches. There go again with that he. I've been trained to say that, ladies and gentlemen, so when it slip out of my mouth sometime, please forgive me. I don't know what God is. I just know that God is power. And God can do whatever God desires to do. But what, about 1984, I believe. I used to say 1988, time is passing. So I ran for president of the United States. And I talked about what I just shared with you about this heavenly plan. And nobody was interested. No one, you never heard of me. You never heard about what I was talking about. You never, they don't even want me to say this in church. I try to get preachers to let me talk in their church. Oh, no. They will not allow me. Why? Because they want me to say stuff that I know is wrong. Let me tell you, there's a battle, ladies and gentlemen, going on. When you do the right thing, don't worry about it. When I was telling you a moment ago about Jesus going on the cross, you know they were asking you to give up your life. And other people say, we don't believe in that. Now, as Malcolm X used to say, why would you do that? And I'm going to tell you the truth of that as far as it was taught to me. As growing up, I used to defend people who were overcome by bullies. No bully is going to jump on anybody around me. I don't care how big you are, what you thinking or talking. You're not going to pick on anyone that's scared of you, and you're going to try to beat them up so you can look good. No, you're going to beat me up. You're not going to beat them up. I never lost. I don't care how big. I never lost, baby, my friends. Never. Why? I was doing the right thing. I was David in the moment. I was Daniel standing up to the lion. But then one day I got the big head. There was a lady, a teacher. I'm in high school, but this teacher was fine. And I wanted her to think I was older and bigger than I really was. I wanted her to kind of dig me. And so one day I was out playing basketball with some guys, and I saw her coming down the street. And as she got closer, I'm thinking, what could I do to impress her? And so I thought, what about a fight? That'll get anybody's attention. So I looked at the biggest guy on the field playing ball with us. And I decided to do what I'd never done before. Start a fight. Just start picking at him, pushing him like a bully. And he didn't want to do anything with me. I don't know if he was afraid or he just looked at me and said I was too small. Why would he fight me? Anyway, as she got closer, I got into it more and more and more. And by the time she got really close, that's when I really thought I was ready. I was willing to let that man beat me so bad. I never had a whooping like that before in my life. And I never had another one because I learned my lesson. I was wrong. I was wrong, and I got my butt beat. So I don't worry about fights. I know America can lose. I don't care how smart. You go and jump with the smallest nation can kick America's butt. And yet America can kick the world if she waits. That's what's right. See, the thing that happened with me when I used to defend others against bullies, what I would always do, I would stand up and I would allow the bully, if you're really serious, brother, I want you to take the first strike. I would allow that bully to take the first strike on me because I wanted first to know, are you really serious? And I can feel by how hard you hit me if you're really determined. Now, if you're trying to hurt me, brother, then I know how to come at you. But if you kind of wicky-wacky and a little lightweight bully, I might be able to just talk you out of it. Or I might just be able to play with you a little bit and let you know you don't have anything going on and you quit. But if you try to knock the hell out of me, oh. So that's all you got to keep in mind. Be right. God got your back. God got your back. Now, I say these, is there anything else that I wanted to say to you? I made a note down here. I don't think I left anything out. I know by the time I say, I hope you got something out of what I've said. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Then I'm going to think of something. Oh, but ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something else. I've shared this message with you at this point, but there's something that I haven't said. And I want to say this. I agree. My life here over these years have taught me that this nation is about white supremacy. And it is as wrong can be. The way I described to you about how life is supposed to be to bring about that peace and prosperity and freedom and joy and stuff like that, that is absolutely the way it's supposed to be done. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and none of this would happen. But you must not allow white supremacy. You must not allow white people to dominate your life. See, when that happens, that tells you you have no connection with God. You have no connection with God, or should I say maybe, just to keep you from getting confused, you have limited connection with God. You see, yes, God is taking care of you. God is looking after you through all of the stuff that you're going through. But the reason we keep going through it is because God requires us, love requires us to stand up for ourselves. You see, it is only when we stand up for ourselves will we know the truth, will we know what love is all about. The difference when we stand up for ourselves, it can't be like the white supremacists. It can't be the selfish standing up for ourselves. It means standing up for what is right. That means it's right for me, so I'm standing up for it. But it's not only right for me, it's right for y'all too. And so when I stand up for me, I'm standing up for y'all. You see, the one action is the only action that's needed because it's a righteous action and it extends itself all across the world. So the reason that we're constantly going through this stuff is because we're following laws. We're following the Constitution that works against us. We're following the laws of the states that works against us. If those laws didn't work, just like they're passing laws that says you can't come over here and protest like you want to, why don't they pass laws that say nobody in this state or in this country will ever have a situation where they're absent food? Never have a situation where they're in the streets, have no place to stay. Never have a situation where they're being denied education when they want it. Never have a situation where they're being denied the best health care. Never would these kinds of things happen. And we pass a law that guarantees that this nation, this state, this city, this town, and these people will have it no other way. Why don't we pass that kind of law? You don't pass that kind of law, do you? But you pass a law saying, don't come, when we do it to you, don't complain. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are we supposed to do? What do you think God would have you do? Act like you helpless? No, baby. God is our power. God is our power. Stand up. Know the truth. And walk according to the truth. And we will be lovers on the hill where there's no shame. I want to thank you now for listening to me because this has been a wonderful day. Thank you, Father, for giving it to me because I declare it's beautiful. Until next time, bye-bye.